Check, 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 check. Hello, my friends. Connor Doobie here. Happy Money Monday to you all. I have a short window here and a lot of stuff to cover. I figured, what the heck? I'm going to take our $6,000 training. And today I would like to purchase you a seat. All of you who are watching this live and watching this after the fact, I'm going to purchase you a seat to a $6,000 worth of training today. So make sure you take notes, make sure you share this around. I have a PowerPoint that I'm going to pull up for you. My question for you is, as we're going through this, by the way, make sure you drop any questions. As I'm doing this through this platform, I can't see your live comments this time, so make sure you drop any comments. I'll try to save enough time at the end to do Q&A. But again, a whole lot of stuff to cover with this. And I know I'm just kind of jumping in here randomly, but I figured this would be great for those who have been following me, paying attention, and want some action items to get 6 and 7 figures worth of sales added into your sales pipeline like quick, man, like really, really fast. Okay, so these are the concepts that we do ourselves. We help B2B marketing agencies implement, and we help our clients to implement as well. So I'm going to pull this up for you here. All right. Here's my question for you today, my friends. And by the way, if you have any problems hearing me or seeing me, please let me know. My question is, how would you like to learn the social media secrets to winning more deals with any target account and securing more sales meetings with even the most difficult to reach prospects, all without hurting your company's reputation? Okay, I know, especially in the world we're living in, it is essential right now that you're able to do two things. Number one, reach, and number two, close more business and stay in front of more business, especially with all the noise going on. So here's what I'm going to cover for you today: how to leverage the bigger picture of LinkedIn to keep selling big business deals through pandemics, natural disasters, down economies, lack of resources, all without relying on crappy automation, pitching your connections nonstop, and just dumping content into your newsfeed using there's this huge movement of personal branding, which is great, but a lot of people forget the bigger picture of social media platforms, especially like LinkedIn, in the world of B2B sales. Number two, I'm going to show you how to create a collaboration funnel to secure more sales meetings with even the most difficult to reach prospects and influencers in your industry, all while simultaneously elevating your industry authority, business development practices, and your marketing reach. And number three, how to develop your social omnipresence, baby. Omnipresence, that term that I've been obsessed with, which is really how to be in all places at all times. Okay. Now, here's a couple examples of what our clients have experienced going through this process. Active blogs, we've helped to grow this company's pipeline by 5x in only 2 months. Clients like Tina, who not only uses their branding efforts to attract top talent and job talent, so they're getting about 50 to 60 top talent job applicants every single day through this process. But within the first 30 days of implementing these strategies, they too have also put a $500,000 deal into their sales pipeline. Kennedy, this is a complicated industry. He tried another automated system for social media. It wasn't productive. Since implementing our process, he's been receiving an average of 3 to 4 new messages a day from LinkedIn, even in the biofuel, renewable fuels technology industry. And that has led to millions of potential revenues into his sales pipeline. Bill M, CMO, this is medical, transport, travel industry. A third of their business, as I'm sure a lot of your business, comes through our traditional sales channel. Those businesses are not easy to corral into warm leads. Okay. We put our process in place, and within 60 days already converted some of that business into sales. All right. And these are high dollar sales. Now I'm going to breeze through this because I usually do a trip giveaway for those who jump on some of our other trainings today. Again, I got a short period of time. Make sure you're dropping any questions, anything that I jump through too quick, into the chat box. I won't be able to get to you until the very end of this. Now, who is this training for today? Free. I'm doing this at no cost. I am buying you right now. If you're taking the action to be on this, watch this after the fact. This training is for those who are responsible for B2B business development. Now, you could also be a marketing agency that helps companies with their B2B business development. Those of you who are frustrated with LinkedIn, digital marketing, social selling, yet you still see the potential that's there. Maybe you've had your marketing plans disrupted due to travel, event restrictions, lack of trade shows, and maybe you're ready to stop struggling and really decrease the social media learning curve to start dominating your industry digitally. Also, are you looking to build real business relationships, like real tangible business relationships and a presence that turns into huge impact for you, for your community, and those that are on your team? Do you want to amplify your brand to the point of being omnipresent, being in all places at all times? I'm going to show you how to do all of these things here today. So here's what you're going to leave with. Number one, little known strategies. Even most experts out there, right? I've talked to some of the top leaders. I've interviewed some of the top business development leaders, sales trainers, LinkedIn coaches. We're going to touch on some strategies that even experts have failed to catch on to. And you can literally start taking action on this stuff tomorrow. Number two, the bigger, grander picture of using LinkedIn, which actually complements the unique nature of high dollar complex B2B sales, account-based business development strategies that are going to completely blow you away, and that thing up on top of in between your ears, your brain, the mentality that goes behind all of this. Now, who the heck am I, right? You're probably, maybe this is the first time you've seen me go live. Maybe this is brand new to you. Maybe you have kind of a sense of who I am. My name's Connor Doobie. You can find me on all top social media platforms. I've been featured in top industry podcasts and interviews for B2B social selling content strategy. I am myself a podcast host of 4 years now, vlogger, speaker, marketing writer. Been featured on some of the top B2B sales and marketing platforms in the world. My current focus is as the director of sales and marketing at Active Blogs, and I'm also a founder of Mile High Mentors and B2B Mentors. I've also built multi-million-dollar businesses early on in my career. I actually started entrepreneurship at the age of 7. So although I am a bit younger than others in the industry, I have years and years and years of experience with this. Now, it's not just me. We have a whole kick-ass team behind us. I am not a solopreneur. This man right here is the man behind the brand. That is my father, Mark Doobie. He founded this company 20 years ago as an early innovator in content marketing. We've been in this space for a long time. Okay. Now diving into the meat here, my friends, the challenge for most people when it comes to growing their business is really two things. Number one, more reach equals more sales. The more people that you can get to know you and like you and trust you, the more business you can do. It's very simple. It's simple math. It's 1 + 1 = 2. Okay. People try to make it so complicated and all the different variables. It really comes down to two key things. Number one, reaching enough of the right people. And number two, consistently being able to stay in front of the right people, which equals more business. At the end of the day, these are the benefits of LinkedIn and the benefits of digital channels. Is number one, the reach. Number two, the consistency that comes with these platforms. Now, the biggest challenges people face, the biggest business development challenges are really, number one, people are more sensitive to sales pitches than ever before. Entire industries are out of business or being massively disrupted. Traditional channels like, networking events, trade shows, conferences, these are also disrupted, obviously. And you are fighting the uphill battle. No matter how great your product, your service is, you're fighting through bad news noise, right? You're fighting the media, you're fighting all the election, like everything out there. Even if your prospects love you, like you, want to do business with you, you're battling through lots and lots of noise. Okay. Now, what are the positives, right? There is a bright side to this. First off, more people are logged in, engaged, and consuming on social media platforms than ever before in history and times that we've seen. We knew this was coming anyways, but COVID-19 has accelerated this probably 5 years into the future of where it would have been normally, just in the natural progression of things. Number two, fear. Fear is going to keep more people online. So even when things do open up, your buyers are likely going to be hanging out online much more, doing much more things virtually, right? And that's just simply fear. Now, the other opportunity here is really a lot of people are just going to continue on as business as usual. Your competitors are probably going to keep hammering in what's been working for them for years, which means if you can make some pivots and do things the right way, there are huge opportunities out there for you. Now, what's the result for this? Well, I mean, if we look at all the platforms out there, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, email marketing, SEO, pay-per-click, Google AdWords, trade shows, conferences, you name it, LinkedIn truly is the most powerful and inexpensive B2B business development tool in modern existence. All right. Unfortunately, most sellers and marketers and agencies as well who help their clients on LinkedIn are relying too much on crappy, shitty, junky automation. They're just pitching, spamming connections nonstop. They're just dumping random content into their newsfeed just to say, hey, I'm doing content marketing, when it's not even their own content. And they're just using their personal LinkedIn accounts. They're not really looking at the bigger picture of LinkedIn. This is hurting your reputation and hurting opportunities that, there's potential with in the future. And, like, I love this slide with Ron Swanson. It's like, leaves most people just kind of feeling frustrated, stuck. They're simply just not, they know that they're able to accomplish much more, but maybe you're just in a rut. You might be in a sales rut, right? You may have even had LinkedIn or other social platforms working for you, and now you're kind of stuck. Now, again, I'm going to really focus on LinkedIn for this, but at the end of the day, all these principles, doesn't matter if it's Clubhouse, virtual reality, someday, live streaming, all these principles apply that I'm going to touch on, and they apply to every single digital channel, okay? So what is the holistic, bigger picture approach to B2B marketing on LinkedIn? I don't think you guys can hear this in the background. The bigger holistic approach is what we call it the missing links to LinkedIn success system. It is the grandiose, not just building your personal brand, not just like, hey, LinkedIn's as easy as connecting and everything. There's a much bigger picture that a lot of people are missing here. There we go. Now, won't let me jump from slide to slide. So really quickly, the components of all of this have to all come together. If you're doing good in one area of social media and LinkedIn, but you're missing other areas, it's kind of like you're missing different systems within the bodily function. I like to look at social media marketing and social media business development and social selling kind of like the human body, right? If your gut's out of whack, it's going to, impact your brain. Your lungs are going to impact your blood flow. They're all interconnected. So even if you're here and you're telling me like, hey, dude, I'm crushing it on LinkedIn or crushing it on social media, chances are there's other pieces that are not as healthy, and they might be missing and might be that next key to getting you that next big sale. So here's the first thing I want to touch on, okay, is getting yourself set up for success, which if we're looking at the holistic picture of LinkedIn, includes not only your LinkedIn profiles, but your company page, your website, landing pages, and the optimal daily actions and systems that go behind the scenes to all of this. A lot of people, when they use LinkedIn, they put so much focus on their profiles, and then they forget about their company page and then forget about their website. If you think about it logistically, what happens when people find you on social media is they're going to click through your personal profile. They're going to go check out your company page. They're going to go check out your website, right? If they find something, find you out somewhere else on the internet, like all roads eventually lead through to your website, or maybe you're running your business on landing pages, which means if you have the wrong approach to all of these pages, I mean, the tiniest thing, people's attention are like goldfish. So like the tiniest thing could make or break a big sales opportunity. So I want you to write this down as you're seeing this. Messaging equals meaning. Messaging equals meaning to your buyers, your prospects, your partners, the people you're trying to reach, your clients, your audience. Now, the beautiful thing about LinkedIn compared to any other social channel is on my personal profile, I can actually leverage my headline, my banner, all that stuff above the fold to highlight and amplify what my messaging is to my market versus just saying like, hey, we do like content marketing, right? We do custom content marketing for, sales enablement support for those who are trying to do LinkedIn marketing. People buy off of value and people buy off of pain. Nobody buys your product, your service, your software, your medical device. They're buying to solve a problem. And in social media, you can basically take your sales messaging, your pain messaging, which you'd have to spend a lot of time, energy to, share that with 100 people on digital platforms for like next to zero spend. You can get your sales and marketing message in front of hundreds of people every single day, but chances are you're probably doing it the wrong way. So ask yourself these questions as you're trying to redevelop and refocus your messaging. What pains do you solve? What are the risks of not solving? What's the end result of solving? And who are you actually solving it for? People buy off of experts who are experts in their industry. We now live in the world of technology where your prospects have open access to infinite amounts of information. And so you need to find a way to focus yourself down. You're going to be much more impactful if you can speak to a very exclusive type market than trying to be a generalist, right? And again, you can do this in your messaging. Your sales cycles hold the messaging secrets too. So like in your sales consultations, if you're a marketer, ask the sales team, what are the top questions they get asked in the sales process? Or you can identify, if you're in sales too, like feed this to your marketing team. Or if you're the CEO, like you're a one-person sales team, really start to take note of what are the biggest pains that your buyers experience and what are the biggest questions that you're getting asked, okay? And that's going to help you to really dial in on your messaging in a more effective way. There's a lot of other great ways to get feedback on this. So you want to make sure you ask, clients of yours, people on your team, outsiders to iterate and give you feedback on your messaging. Now, what's the next phase on this? Well, this is actually going in and getting prospects into your pipeline. Now, here's what most people aren't doing when it comes to building their audience on LinkedIn. They go out, they pull out a cold audience. They're just kind of doing random acts of social, just connecting at will. They see someone, they send them kind of like a sales script or sales pitch. They have a template or they're using automation. If you have Sales Navigator, which I 10 out of 10 recommend if you're in B2B business development, or if your clients are in B2B and you're a B2B marketer, get your clients on Sales Navigator. And the first thing to do is get all of your past clients, present clients, all of your existing business relationships connected with you. Now, I find a lot of people don't do this on LinkedIn, and they're actually missing a really big opportunity here, or they maybe think they're doing it. I'm not talking about like people who aren't relevant, but the beauty of LinkedIn is I can use and tap into my existing network to get referrals to new clients without having to wait on these people to send me referrals. How sweet is that? So you don't even need to wait around for referrals if you're connecting the right way. Use Sales Navigator. Make sure you're connected with all of your partners, business colleagues, past and present clients. Now, in emphasis, if you're listening to this right now, I want to overemphasize for you. I want to overemphasize for you. Don't just connect with the people you've worked with directly. Let's say I've done some work for a company that has 300 employees in it, and I've worked with like the CTO and director of tech in the past, maybe some other, the CIO in that company. But I also want to use those relationships to connect up with the CEO, the sales director there, the CMO, and all the top C-suite decision makers in that organization. So it's as simple as, hey, I've been working with Frank, your CTO, over the past couple of years. Thought it'd be a great idea for us to keep in touch on LinkedIn as well. So make sure you're looping in others, and that's going to be the keys to widening your reach and opening your network in a more valuable way than just doing it in a spammy way like everybody else does. Now, another beautiful aspect of LinkedIn is instead of even initially having to message people, like I want to build brand familiarity and I want to drive traffic to my landing pages, my links, my resources. When I'm connecting with my prospects and my clients who are my biggest fans and my biggest advocates, I can send them invitations from my company page. In fact, I can send up to like 500 now. It used to be 100. Now it's like 250 every single month. So as I connect with people without even having to spam them, I can bring them through that invite them to that next stage of awareness to my brand outside of my personal brand. So it goes from personal brand as the focal point to your company brand, to your website, to your resources, to a point of contact where you have more people reaching out to you rather than you having to chase a bunch of people around. Cool? Now moving along here, can't really travel to your prospects, right? What do we do if we can't go meet people in business? Your prospects still need, you still have to find a way to create that know, like, and trust factor to get more business. Well, this is where the no-fail follow-up strategy comes to play, okay? And again, if you see that link for the 15-day challenge up in this video, I go into depth on this no-fail follow-up strategy. But again, instead of doing what everybody else does on LinkedIn to build more of the know, like, and trust factor, I communicate through custom videos directly in the LinkedIn app and custom audio messages. That way, it's way easier for me to communicate my personality, my voice, my tone, my authority, rather than just sending people. And again, you can do this on email, you can do this on Instagram, you can do this on any social platform. Video and audio is the key. There's a reason voice messages work so well is because people can hear your voice, right? So when you're cold calling is not necessarily dead. There's a way to implement your cold calling approach on LinkedIn so that it is so that you're communicating much better. Now, I'm still a fan. Like cold calling still works, email, etc. Start your initial point of contact on LinkedIn. Start your initial point of contact on social media. Then move them over. Then follow up on the phone. Then when you're cold calling somebody, then you can reference the contact you've already made with them on LinkedIn. Okay, so I'd say, hey man, Connor Doobie here. I just followed up. I sent you that video on LinkedIn the other day, which mentioned X, Y, and Z. You seem pretty similar to a handful of our other clients who are also experiencing pain 1, pain 2, pain 3, XYZ, and then give them your, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to buy them a consultation? Are you trying to offer them something? You're trying to send them something, then move it into there, but use these initial touch points as the first point of contact. Now, the other thing is you can connect with not only the key decision maker, but run the same functionality for the top 2, 3, 4 different people who are in their company. It works really, really well. Now, eventually too, once you're connected up with 5, 6, 7 people in the same organization, LinkedIn allows you to loop everybody into a group message. So I take, if I'm prospecting a company, I'm connected with the CEO, CMO, director of sales, VP of marketing. Then I'm going to lump them into a group message. Okay. I'm going to label the group message, whatever's relevant to me and causes pain and also makes them go, oh shit, what's this about? Maybe, it captures their attention so well. And it works so well. And then you can run the same function follow-up, video, audio messages, all that stuff works really well. Now, here's where this collaboration funnel that I've really preached on over the years comes to play. Let's say you're using a direct outreach approach and it still didn't work. Well, ask yourself these questions. How can you make it easier to get almost any person of interest talking to you? Mutual benefit, right? If you're mutually benefited in the right way, people won't ignore you anymore. What do most professionals at any stage in their career want? Validation, recognition, more business connections, and to support other professional success. This is consistent throughout most of the great professionals out there. It doesn't matter if they're a director of sales, marketing, if they're a CEO with lots of business experience, even if they're like in their 20s, people want to help other people. Okay, it's just part of human nature. So how can your business tap into this process, especially on LinkedIn, to grow your sales? Well, I call this a collaboration funnel. What the collaboration funnel will do for you, instead of doing direct outreach to try to prospect on social media, the collaboration funnel is going to turn your prospecting efforts from average, annoying, and salesy to collaborative, fun, and easy, right? Think about that. How great would it be to turn prospecting into maybe how you perceive it now to like, oh my God, I'm so excited to get after my day because it's fun, it's collaborative, it's easy, and it's extremely valuable. So the pivot is actually using LinkedIn to invite your prospects, partners, and industry influence to either be a guest on your podcast. Now, you don't have to start a podcast to implement the collaboration funnel. There's hundreds of ways you can do this. You can do it through a guest blog. You can do it through a video series. You can do the interview, and you don't even have to create any content out of it besides your own content and referencing the people who you interview. You could even co-create content for social media together. So what does this do? This allows you to get conversations going and build relationships with high value targets without having to spam them. 8 to 9 out of 10 people are going to say yes to doing this, right? People love being interviewed and they want to share. So if I go to a chief marketing officer at a $1 billion company and I say, hey, Mr. CMO, we're doing a podcast series or a video series or a content series for other CMOs in our audience. Would you be willing to be interviewed for 20 minutes so that you could share a little bit of your challenges, your successes, your wins? 8 to 9 out of 10 times people are going to say yes to you because it's valuable to them. Naturally, it allows you to build a true deep relationship, and true deep relationships, my friends, leads to more sales. Okay. So if you can reach more people in a collaborative, fun, easy way, there's no pressure on them. You're not there to pitch them. Like in your mind, you go in completely as a blank slate with the intention to truly add value to the prospects who are already in your following, to that person right across from you. Again, 90% of the time, you never ever even have to pitch anything. You just offer to do an interview, and naturally the conversation turns to, hey, Connor, what do you do? Okay. So it gets people talking to you. You can talk to industry influencers. Like I've had meetings with some of the most difficult to reach people in the world by using this approach. It organically builds a natural conversation and creates infinite amounts of content for you to fuel your social omnipresence, and generates infinite possibilities once you're in the position of being an industry thought leader. So what is the social omnipresence I keep speaking of? This is where I want to get you eventually. If you're watching this, okay, I want you to be omnipresent in your industry. You should be known in all places at all times. All right. So omnipresence comes from a combination of your collaboration funnel, the audience that you're building the right way on LinkedIn through Sales Navigator, right? I touched on that. And your valuable message to the world. These are the missing puzzle pieces to omnipresence. And the delivery vehicle for omnipresence is your custom content. right? Content is currency in the digital world that we live in. The more valuable information I can put out, the more input I get in from prospects, partners, valuable relationships that want to talk to me. So real quick, again, if you're watching this after the fact, please make sure to drop any questions here. We're getting right to the tail end of this presentation, and I'm going to give you this 10-step omnipresent option that you can leave today's training and go implement. Okay, so here's how I run this. All right, number one, I use a collaboration funnel. I record a podcast interview on Zoom. I immediately, when someone schedules on my calendar, they immediately get opted in to our email list, which is Active Campaign. When I stream a podcast interview, I stream it on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn Live. So I'm also getting live video content simultaneously, and I don't even have to create the content. I take the audio, I upload it to Spreaker, okay, for podcast distribution. I transcribe the podcast into a written article so I can get my written blogs done, my LinkedIn publications done just by recording content. I publish it to my blog. I distribute it to my email list. I cut captured episode content further to create video, visual, graphic, LinkedIn posts. I tag my guests and people on their team, which provides extra free exposure. And I get my team sharing everything out as well, and my partners. Now, what's this going to do? It's going to drive a lot of traffic to your pages, your website. Some of this is a little more advanced, so if you have any questions on this, feel free to hit me. But then I drive the traffic, and then I do traffic retargeting, and boom, you can build a completely omnipresent marketing system for less than, a couple $1,000 a month. It is minimal energy into massive impact. Okay, so consistency, just as a reminder, consistency really is the ticket to closing more sales. If you're going to do this, it's not about once a week, once a month. You got to regularly do this. But if you're using that omnipresent system that I just shared, it's going to save you a heck of a lot of time, and it's going to provide much, much more with much, much less time. So don't be underestimated. Don't be deterred by how much you actually need to show up. You are right now underestimating how much information you need to get out there. Okay. Set clear targets for yourself. All right. Set clear targets. Sorry, let me get rid of this notification here. Make sure your targets are written down somewhere. Make sure they're visible. Make sure you're referring back to them regularly. And make sure you reach out for help. Get a mentor, get a coach, get someone who can keep you accountable to go through this. Now, I would love to keep you accountable. If you want the help, if you want to take action on the information here, I put together a 15-day challenge that you can jump into and start implementing the system of collaboration funnel and infinite amount of content to reach even the most difficult to get a hold of prospects, get them talking to you, build relationships, and convert those into more 6- and 7-figure sales. So please, if I brought you any value with this video, again, make sure you go check out that 15-day challenge link. Make sure you tag anybody on this video who needs to see this. Please share it. Drop any questions, comments after the fact. Okay. Much love to all of you guys, especially those who literally are going to take action on this information right away. That's why I did this. Everything I just covered, you can immediately go in and implement. So with that, my friends, much love to you all. And I have plenty of great live streams coming up here soon in the future. So make sure you're following me. Make sure you check out our podcast. Make sure you check out our content. But most importantly, make sure you're following me so you're notified when I give away $6,000 worth of free training, here to the public. It's open to the access. I charge 6, 7, 10 grand a month or one time for this type of strategies and information to implement. You got it today for free. So I just paid for you to get this information. Make sure you jump on it. Much love to you, my friends. I'll see you on the other side.